A special thank you to Glenn Kramer, Mark Ware, Byron Colley, Steve Dix, Bill Schreiber, Christopher Hunt, Felix Rodriguez, James Rogers, Norman Fair, Daniel Mayer, Kyle Sarpolis, Leland Lampkins, Lonnie Meisner, Michael Douglas, Paul Wood, Michael Scott, Samuel Draney, and Tom Champion.
Welcome back to Slot Car Fun. It's Saturday, and it used to be called Sunday Slot Car Fun, but now it happens kind of on Saturdays, it kind of happens on Sundays, but it's always up by Sunday. And thank you so much for coming to watch my crazy show. So a lot of you have joined in, a lot of you have left great comments and have said a lot of wonderful things, and it's greatly appreciated. And even some of you have gone to buy me a coffee, and you've bought me a coffee, and that means a great deal to me. So it's hard to keep doing all this stuff that I do, and some of you are just watching the show, so you think you do Slot Car Fun. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is I run a motion picture studio, a small one in Ventura, and well, it used to be a motion picture studio. Now it's kind of a hobby house. I've been there for 10 years, but I do a lot of motion picture work at one time, and I worked in the industry and worked on everything from Ghostbusters to Fright Night to Star Trek and all kinds of stuff like that. And when I moved up to Ventura, Mary and I opened up a studio with a small one, just with 2,000 square feet. We have film equipment there. We make our own films for free, for fun, in our film festivals and stuff. But I have done contractual work still there, and I do a lot of work off and on for people to build models for them, and collectors. I make all kinds of historic creature masks and things from movies. So we do a lot of things, and I do those shows and a lot of blog posts and a lot of this and that just to keep the place going, because we're not pulling in the contracts like we used to. I'm 71 years old. There's a lot of ageism going on, and people don't hire you because they think you're too old. So sad fact, but there it is. So when I say thank you for helping support the studio, that little bit of $2 to $5 a month goes a long way as it adds up to just keeping the bills paid there. So I don't have to use my Social Security and my Screen Actors Guild pension alone to pay for everything. So, and then we get the odd job in there, and that covers a bit more. It allows me to have a little discretionary income, so I can do what you do, buy slot cars. Or buy kits and build slot cars, which I really love doing a lot. So, which brings me to the point of the show today. I have been working on the Maserati. I started on part 1 and part 2, and to tell you the truth, with doing 2 to 3 videos a week, posting every day, and massive posting on Saturday to everything from what's it called? Substack, to WordPress, to Facebook, to Patreon, to replica prop forum, you name it. There's like 10 of them that I have to do, and I write for all of them, and I keep things going. All that work brings a little bit of stuff in. So I've decided that when I do a build, we'll just make it part of Slot Car Fun, because after all, it's fun to build a slot car, and it is slot car fun. So back to the Maserati. You can see a picture of it on the screen. Now this is the 1956 Sterling Moss version of the Maserati, which is this Maserati here. So, which we're going to look up close up. Many of you already know about the car, and I've been slowly but surely working on it. But what I haven't got yet were my Indy decals, and they finally showed up the other day. So, what you don't want to do is finish the whole car off, then put the decals on it, and then put clear on it, and the clear gets on the exhaust system and all the other parts you don't want to have clear on it, like the windscreen, like your seat, your dashboard, all that. So you put the decals on the red paint or whatever color paint you do, you let it dry overnight completely, and then you do clear. And what I always do too is I take a certain part of the decal sheet that I'm not going to use, usually has the name of the company or something on it, and I put it on something as well. And then I spray that first with my clear coat and make sure it doesn't react, because sometimes it does. I don't know why, but you'll get the decal shriveling up, and we don't want that. So we're going to move the camera around over here. But as I was saying, it's very hard to find pictures of this car except from one angle. Always this side. There's Sterling Moss, number 28. And as it turns out, this is exactly the correct body to that year. They change around a lot. And this is the same, pretty much, yeah, the same body. So that's a good thing. We like that. So you only see it from this side, and so if you want to place decals on it, it can be a little trying. So if you don't know what the other side looks like. So let's go back this way. So this picture of a die-cast model, shows me where these little numbers go here, and where the Maserati emblem goes. There's not a lot on it, and of course they very smartly mark the decals with nose for the smaller decal, which goes up front, which generally speaking, they are smaller. You can see from that angle, you can see the 28MO, which stands for Moss. That's how you know it's Sterling Moss. They got some things wrong on this model when they made it, like this. The dashboard is actually flat black. So, and it's quite recessed, and it's not like that in this model. And let's face it, not all models are created equal. Not all are 100% accurate, and furthermore, they vary a great deal. Now, you see the windshield's inset behind this. That's correct. That's somewhat correct on this model I have here, but yet it's not correct. So I'm going to have some adjustments to make there to get that close to being. But you're never going to make it 100% accurate. You want like this is not correct on this model. This should just be a screen with a hole in it for the crank start. These were crank started. However, this is painted correctly. It's basically a flat black, and then this is a chrome color, and this is the heat shield guard for the possibility that the driver sticks his arm out there and leans on it, which would be really bad. It is missing. It doesn't have things. This scoop here is not on the model I have, and neither is this part going up here. And so, and also, I don't know if I think I do have the side view mirrors. So, but this tells me enough that I know where the decals go. So we're going to go with that, and we're going to start putting the decals on this model. And I'm going to go back here to, there was this model, this picture of a model as well. And they all look different. And I don't have these gill slits underneath the wings here. So I will probably maybe paint those in or make a decal myself up that just kind of gives the feel of those. So, but let's go back and look at Sterling Moss's actual car. And there it is. And this is very helpful looking at this because I can see I have all these parts here for the gas caps, and those will get painted chrome. But this tells me a lot. I mean, look at this. No roll bar. No protection at all. This baby flips over. So, but we're going to go ahead and put the decals on. I've rumbled on enough here. But it's cool to see that basically this body is very much the same as what I have. Okay, a little postscript here. I'm sitting here in the editor, and you can probably see over my shoulder, which I didn't know was blocking the process of putting in the decals. I mean, you'd see a little bit of me doing something, and then you'd hear me talking a lot, and it was so annoying to me, so disturbing, that I decided to cut it all out. So basically, you're going to see what I did, after I finished putting all the decals on. And really, all I did was, because I was zoomed in so close, I just kept blocking. And so you'll see I do it like this. Being a professional filmmaker, it drove me crazy. So what I did was, of course, I cut the decals away from the paper with a pair of scissors, and using this water over here, I dipped it in and slid them on. I mean, it really wasn't hard at all. I'm sorry you missed the whole process, but at least you get to see the car and how well it turned out. So I put the driver in and the windshield and all that stuff, temporarily, but these decals have now dried and they are fantastic. I just couldn't be more happy with Indy decals. Again, I'll try not to block things. Indy Decals is where I got the decals from, and you can find them online, indydecals.com. They are terrific. They are the best decals I've ever used, and being a professional model builder, I got to tell you, I've used a lot of decals. So that turned out really well. I'm really sorry you didn't get to see all that. Now back to our regular scheduled program. I have these, and those are for my A.J. Foyt 1964 Indy winner. And these are really nice decals. It's got A.J. Foyt up here. Everything's there. And see that down there? I think you can see that right here. It says Indy Decals. That's what I'll be doing my test with. Okay, I got my magnifying glasses back on, and I'm going to go in here with this Sharpie, and I'm going to make where the holes are, it should be black. I'm going to do this and we'll come back and show you how it looks. I'm really happy with it so far. Can't wait to get the other stuff done. The decals are fantastic. I highly recommend their decals. This has just been a terrific lot of fun to build this car, and I want to thank John Warren at MV, V as in victory, MVD as in Denver, M as in Mary, V as in Victor, D as in December or Denver or whatever you like, or Dave, resins. And you can find John in his forum on MVD Resins on Facebook. And you can order a body kit from him. They're very reasonable. He also has other parts for cars. And I really think his stuff is quite good. My two sources for all my body kits are George Turner and John Warren. And God, just terrific. You know, I need to get a light for right here because it's so dark outside. I mean, here it is, middle of June. You need a coat and a sweater. It's been raining and it's dark outside. And this is totally not usual for Southern California at all. Something's different. I've been having a great time working on this. I hope you enjoyed being with me while I played with my model. And, you know, again, I just can't thank John Warren enough for this body. And it was so cool when I saw the picture of the Maserati online from 1957. And I said, John, do you have a body like this? And he said, oh, like this one? And he put a picture up and I went, oh, yeah. Took me a couple of weeks to get, was well worth the wait. It was a great price, and if you're just checking in for the first time and seeing this, it's a Maserati 250F. This is a Sterling Moss version that I've done, and the wire wheels I got from 132nd Slot Cars in Oregon. They do a great job. They carry these PCH wheels, which are now, I believe, another company name. I'm drawing a blank on the company name, but they have the wire wheels there, and they're approximately the right size. And I also want to thank John Warren, who pointed me in their direction. I knew about them already, but I didn't know that they carried these wheels, because most of the companies I've dealt with in the United States don't. Pendle has them too, but Oregon's a little closer. So, it's so pretty. I just want to put it by my bedside and look at it as I fall asleep. Anyway, guys, I promise I'm going to bring a light from the studio here to light me up from the front so I'm not in the dark. Like I said before, if you like these videos and you're enjoying them and you want to help support the studio, or if you just want to follow along, you can do that too. I do posting every day on Buy Me a Coffee of all the work I do at my studio, from creatures to Starship models to slot cars. It's all there, and there's the link right there. And thank you to you who have supported me so far and have joined up. I've got a few supporters there and a bunch of followers for free, which is fine. I encourage followers to subscribe to the site, to watch the things we do there, because that helps too a great deal. And we'll see you next week for Slot Car Fun.